Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Dr. Ambreen. I'm a physical therapist by profession. And here I'm delightful to be on the platform of University of South Asia, where I'm going to teach the subject pharmacology and therapeutics to the students of Doctor of Physical Therapy semester 5 and students of Doctor of Nutrition semester 5. Coming towards the topic, today I'm going to tell you in detail the pharmacology of antihypertensive drugs. For this, we must have some course objectives, and for the course objective of this lecture, at the end of this lecture, students, mean you people, would be able to understand and describe the normal physiology of the hypertension. You will able to describe the pharmacology of antihypertensive drugs and their classification and detailed description of each antihypertensive drug. Coming towards the topic, hypertension or mean high blood pressure is quite common disorder in our society, and most of the people even does not know they have hypertension because they have never ever noticed any sign and symptoms of hypertension. So what hypertension is? Hypertension is usually described as the elevation of the blood pressure above 142 by 190 millimeters of mercury, and it is considered to be a common cardiovascular condition. So, in order to know about the details of this, hypertension, we must have the first review of blood pressure. So, what blood pressure is? So, the normal physiology of blood pressure is the blood pressure is defined as the force or a tension. What a force or a tension of the blood that is going to be pressed against any wall of the vessel. So the force or the tension of the blood pressing against artery wall is considered to be the blood pressure. So if there would be elevation of the systolic blood pressure and diastolic blood pressure from the normal range, it will be considered as hypertension. Right? So there are a number of the factors that are being under this topic, contraction of the ventricle is responsible for this. There is stroke volume, the peripheral vascular resistance, blood volume. They are all going to actually go on this hypertension. So, what are basically types of hypertension? Hypertension is divided into two main types, like the essential or primary hypertension. Other one is secondary hypertension. Primary hypertension does not have any specific cause, like it is unknown and idiopathic in cause. So somehow there is defect or irregularity in the blood pressure regulatory mechanism. And the secondary one is due to some other diseases this has been developed and has been noticed is said to be the primary hypertension. So there are certain other environmental factors that affects the hypertension, like stress, due to which the blood pressure actually raises just because it causes the stress actually induced in starts a sympathetic system activation, due to which the blood vessels goes into vasoconstriction, the heart starts working more. So due to which there would be symptoms of hypertension. Increased sodium intake. Intake is it more, that is going to increase the plasma volume or blood volume, and ultimately going to increase the blood pressure. Obesity, smoking. So these are such factors that are going to control the hypertension. So what we have to look for is we have to look the causes, we have to look different factors that are going to go on this hypertension. So what the goal of the treatment? Why we need to do the treatment of this hypertension? Actually, we want to improve the quality of the life of the patient. So for this, we tend to take some measures to decrease the blood pressure from 140 by 90 millimeters of mercury, and we want to decrease it. So for this purpose, we may either take some non-pharmacological methods. Then if the blood pressure is not being controlled by non-pharmacological method, then we move towards the pharmacological treatment. Coming towards the topic, that is blood pressure. Blood pressure is actually determined mainly by cardiac output, and the other thing that is going to control the blood pressure is total peripheral vascular resistance. This is the resistance that is offered by the blood vessel, and through which the blood is actually going through. Fine. And there are some other couple of things that are going to regulate this blood pressure. They may include the pressure sensitive structures like baroreceptor that are present in the aortic arches and cardiac sinuses. So baroreceptor mechanism, renin-angiotensin and aldosterone system, that are very important regulatory systems or reflexes that are going to control the blood pressure. So coming towards the normal physiology of the blood pressure, one thing I would like to explain in detail, that is the normal physiology, what it is. What happens in our body whenever there is a decrease in the blood pressure? Our body has a sensory like receptors that are said to be baroreceptors. They sense it, and what did they do? These baroreceptor reflexes do whenever there is a decrease in the blood pressure. जब भी हमारी बॉडी में ब्लड प्रेशर कम हो रहा है, what is going to happen? The baroreceptor mechanism are going to activate. So they, when activate, they are going to convey the message to the adrenal medulla, and adrenal medulla tends to start the secretion of catecholamines. And the catecholamines will, what do they do is they are going to act on the sympathetic system, and we earlier studied in the sympathetic system, they are going to act on the alpha 1, beta 1, and beta 2 receptors. So we know alpha 1 kahan pe maujood hai, you are well familiar with the locations. We know where beta 2 are present, we are well familiar with the locations. So where beta 1 are present, we are well familiar. So what is going to happen is, I earlier said कि body में blood pressure कम हुआ, whenever there will be low blood pressure, the baroreceptor system will activate. It will convey the message to adrenal medulla. Adrenal medulla will activate होगा, वो catecholamines secrete करेगा. Then what happens? These catecholamines are going to enhance, like what? They are going to increase the sympathetic activity. Sympathetic activity, we have studied about sympathetic activity in detail. जब भी sympathetic activity ज़्यादा होगी हमारी body में catecholamines mean work करें, कहाँ पे work करें? They are going to work on alpha receptors and beta receptors. So coming towards the receptor, if these catecholamines are going to act on, let's suppose, on beta 1 receptor, and we know beta 1 are present only and purely, basically 99% beta 1 receptor are in our heart. So what is going to happen? We catecholamines हमारे beta 1 receptors पे act करेंगे, they are going to stimulate the heart and they are going to increase the heart rate. जब भी heart rate बढ़ेगा, cardiac output बढ़ेगा, cardiac output बढ़ेगा, obviously, like it is going to exert more like increase in the blood pressure. Fine. The next thing I want to tell you, as we earlier studied, alpha 1 are present on the blood vessels. So what is going to happen? Alpha 1 की activity ज़्यादा हो जाएगी और alpha 1 basically vasoconstriction करते हैं. जब वो vasoconstriction करेंगे, तो वो vasoconstriction हमारे blood pressure को और increase करेगी. I said बीटा 1 जब काम करेंगे तो हमारा हार्ट रेट बढ़ेगा, हमारा कार्डिक आउटपुट बढ़ेगा, और जब अल्फा 1 काम करेंगे they are going to cause vasoconstriction, we know, and vasoconstriction होगी तो blood pressure भी obviously बढ़ेगा. So these are the two things that are going to increase the blood pressure when the sympathetic system activates. What are they these two things? They are beta 1 is going to increase the heart rate and alpha 1 are going to increase the vasoconstriction. So both are going to increase the blood pressure. This is the one thing that is going to increase the blood pressure. And the other mechanism that we have is renin-angiotensin system. What is this? Whenever there is a low blood pressure, there are baroreceptors in the kidney. What they are going to do is they are going to respond to this decrease in the blood pressure. And the kidney is going to secrete renin. And renin हमारे sympathetic system पे जब activate होता है तब भी secrete होती है. So what is going to happen? Blood pressure कम होने से भी renin आए, sympathetic system activate जो ऊपर हो गया उससे भी renin आए. Renin is going to convert what? Angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. And angiotensinogen is when going to convert from the inactive form into active form, that is angiotensin 1. What happened? Angiotensin 1 is going to convert into angiotensin 2 with the help of an enzyme ACE. ACE is angiotensin converting enzyme. So what is now this angiotensin 2? I'm going to repeat the whole process. We said when there is a decrease in the blood pressure, fine, it is sensed by the baroreceptors in the kidney, and ultimately there is secretion of renin. Renin enzyme, fine, that converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1, and angiotensin 1 converts into angiotensin 2 with the help of an enzyme, angiotensin converting enzyme. Fine. Then what happens when angiotensin 2 is going to synthesize? It is a potent vasoconstrictor. It has a lot of action. So being a vasoconstrictor, and especially the potent vasoconstriction, it is going to increase the blood pressure. Fine. So this is one of the reasons that the angiotensin aldosterone system is going to, renin-angiotensin system is going to increase the blood pressure. Further, aldosterone angiotensin 2 is also going to increase the renal blood flow, due to which there would be excretion of aldosterone. और aldosterone क्या करता है? है, it also causes salt and water retention. So हमारी बॉडी में अगर एल्डोस्टेरोन रिलीज होगा वो सॉल्ट एंड वाटर रिटेंशन करेगा. सॉल्ट और वाटर अगर हमारे ब्लड के अंदर रिटेन करेगा मीन हमारा प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम मीन ब्लड वॉल्यूम बढ़ रहा है. अगर एक वैसल का ब्लड वॉल्यूम बढ़ रहा है तो इट मीन्स व्हाट इट इज गोइंग टू डू इज इट इज आल्सो going to increase the blood pressure because this blood volume is going to exert further pressing action on the walls of arteries. Fine. I'm again going to repeat from the start. I said there are different mechanisms that are going to control. One of them is baroreceptor reflexes. Body में blood pressure कम हुआ, fine. It stands for baroreceptors that are present in the cardiac or like aortic arches and sinuses. So adrenomedulla secreted catecholamines are they are going to work on alpha 1 and beta 1 receptors. Fine. So beta 1 is going to increase the heart rate, alpha 1 is going to increase the vasoconstriction, both are going to increase the blood pressure. So along with this, there is other mechanism that is renin-angiotensin mechanism. What system it is going to do is, it is going to, when I respond to the decrease in the blood pressure, the baroreceptors that are present in the kidney are going to secrete renin. Renin is going to convert angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. Angiotensin 1 is going to convert into angiotensin 2 with the help of enzyme ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. So far we are here. Angiotensin 2 has been formed. Angiotensin 2 is a potent vasoconstriction. वो vasoconstriction करता है. जब वो vasoconstriction करता है, वो blood pressure को high करता है. Next thing is angiotensin 2 also increases the renal blood flow. हमारी किडनी का ब्लड फ्लो भी बढ़ाता है, वॉल्यूम को बढ़ाता है, और ड्यू टू विच एल्डोस्टेरोन इज गोइंग टू सिक्रीट. एंड एल्डोस्टेरोन जब आता है इट कॉजेस सॉल्ट एंड वाटर रिटेंशन. और हमारी बॉडी में सॉल्ट एंड वाटर रिटेंशन मीन द सॉल्ट प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम एंड ब्लड वॉल्यूम इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज. And when it is going to increase, it is going to put more pressure on the vessels. So as a result of which the blood pressure is again going to reduce. So what we have to do with these antihypertensive drugs is we have to stop, lock or block all these different steps or actions due to which we are able to control this blood pressure. Right? So coming towards the topic, how this is going to work, what are the non-pharmacological actions and pharmacological action, we may go through in detail. So he said blood pressure is controlled by the baroreceptor reflexes acting through the autonomic nervous system, fine, with renin, angiotensin, aldosterone system, okay, fine. He said these are the two regulatory systems that are going to sense the decrease in the blood pressure, okay. Obviously, when there would be prolonged hypertension, what is going to happen is it may damage to the blood vessels of the heart and brain and may result in severe complications like stroke and coronary artery diseases or renal failure. So we want to decrease this increase in the blood pressure. So initially we take non-pharmacological managements like lifestyle modification initially, like you can decrease the smoking if you're a smoker. If you're obese, you must decrease the weight. Obviously, if you're alcohol users, reduce the alcohol intake. If you have stress and the reason is stress, so try to decrease the stress and do relaxation exercises techniques or promote to do exercise and functional activity. And one other thing is in diet, you must restrict the salt usage. And if with taking all these measures, your systolic blood pressure is not going to decrease less than 140, then you should move towards a pharmacological treatment. Coming towards a pharmacological treatment, when your lifestyle modification has not helped, along with your lifestyle modification, you may continue towards usage of diuretic or beta blockers. So initially, your dose must be slow or less, and secondly, if you need more doses, you can have another additional medicine with it. But mostly, the normal blood pressure response, initial stages of blood pressure actually are being responded by diuretics. So they can be added with another. What is the diuretic and beta blocker? We are familiar with beta blocker. We are going to study them in detail, how they are going to help in the blood pressure decrease. The next thing is, let me tell you, is the details of antihypertensive drugs. So this is very important. So there are different classes of the antihypertensive drugs that are further divided into different subtypes. So, and there are further names of the drugs that we have to actually keep in mind. So coming towards the diuretics, let me tell you what they are. Diuretics are of three types. Diuretics word means the one that is going to increase the urination, the process of urine excretion. So diuretics are of three types: two diuretics, thiazide and potassium sparing diuretics. Number two is drugs that acts on the renin-angiotensin system. That are of three categories, like angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. This drug is going to stop the enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme. The other one is angiotensin 2 receptor blocker. The third one is renin inhibitor. Fine. The third category is sympathetolytics, that is centrally acting drugs. They include ganglion blockers, adrenergic neuron blockers, adrenergic receptor blockers. We have studied few categories among that, but we'll discuss them in detail again. Coming towards the other category, that is direct vasodilators like arteriodilators, arteriovenodilators. The sixth category is calcium channel blockers. We are familiar with calcium channel blockers. We have studied in anti-channel trials that they are of two types, dihydropyridines and non-dihydropyridines like verapamil and diltiazem, and the other one are nifedipine and imodipine. Again, I'm on the classification. I said it has been divided in diuretics, drugs acting on renin-angiotensin system, sympathetolytics, calcium channel blockers, and the direct vasodilator. We'll discuss about each subtype and further discuss their names. I'd like to tell you loop diuretics. We are familiar with furosemide and bumetanide. There are different examples of chapter 1. Thiazides are hydrochlorothiazides. Potassium-sparing diuretics is spironolactone. Coming towards the drugs that act on the renin-angiotensin system is angiotensin-converting enzyme inhibitors. That includes captopril, anapril, linsopril, ramipril, and the pril comes at their end. Angiotensin 2 receptor blockers is losartan, candesartan, valsartan. Renin inhibitors is aliskiren. So today, in this first half of the session, we will discuss in detail about diuretics and drugs acting on the renin-angiotensin system. Then we will move towards the sympathetolytics, centrally acting drugs, clonidine, ganglion blockers, quinathiridine, and adrenergic neuron blockers, adrenergic receptor blockers that comes under the alpha blockers and beta blockers. Arteriovasodilators mean that are going to dilate the arteries. Arteriovenodilators mean that are going to dilate arteries and veins. So calcium channel blockers that are going to block the entry of the calcium. Fine. Diuretics. We said diuretics are first line of drug, mean first priority, first choice drug in case of mild hypertension. Fine. So they are going to treat the heart failure and kidney diseases also. So there are few adverse effects of diuretics that are like electrolyte imbalance. Why they are doing so, I'll tell you soon why they are actually going to cause electrolyte imbalance. Coming towards the diuretic action. I said diuretics are the drug that increases the process of urine excretion. ये हमारी बॉडी में यूरिन को excrete out करते हैं. So when they are going to excrete out the urine, fine. So they are going to reduce blood volume, fine. So due to which there is decrease in the blood pressure. They're also going to excrete water along with electrolytes. So they may cause electrolyte imbalance. So depending upon the type of diuretics, either you are using loop diuretics, meaning furosemide, either you are using hydrochlorothiazide, either you are using potassium-sparing diuretics. Their side effects are according to that respectively. For example, furosemide causes hyponatremia, mean जब हमारी बॉडी से वाटर एक्सीट हो रहा है, साथ में सोडियम, पोटेशियम, मैग्नीशियम, कैल्शियम भी जा रहा है. फाइन. लेकिन हर ड्रग की अपनी कैटेगरी है हाउ दे आर गोइंग टू एक्सक्रीट. फॉर एग्जांपल जो हमारी फर्स्ट कैटेगरी है लूप डायरेटिक्स, हमारी बॉडी में वाटर के साथ सोडियम तो भेज रहे हैं, ओके फाइन, वी एक्चुअली वांट टू एक्सक्रीट आउट ऑफ द बॉडी. लेकिन साथ में they are going to excrete the potassium, they are going to excrete the calcium, and fine, when they are going to excrete the potassium, this is a very important thing that we must not leave, that is said to be hypokalemia. Hypo means less, kalemia means potassium in the blood. So they are going to decrease the potassium in our body when they are going to excrete the potassium, calcium, and all these things out of the body. So the point that they are going to decrease the potassium, this is very important, and due to which may face different other problems. So you want to eliminate or manage this hypokalemia as well. So the first category also causes hypokalemia. The second drug category also causes hypokalemia. The third one is potassium-sparing diuretics. This is one of the type of diuretic which is not so effective. But the additional point about this drug is it is going to prevent the potassium loss out of the body. Loop diuretics, hyponatremia, hypokalemia, it is going to do all these things. Fine. Hydrochlorothiazide is also going to do all these things. A very good one them is first two categories. The third one category is not good in action, not potent, but one thing it do good is कि हमारी बॉडी से पोटेशियम को बाहर नहीं जाने देता, ये बॉडी में पोटेशियम को स्पेयर करता है, सो ये हाइपोकैलेमिया नहीं करता. फर्स्ट दोनों ड्रग्स करती है. Fine. So we have to look which drug is going to disturb our potassium level. Coming towards the mechanism of action, we said these are the drugs that can be used in mild like hypertension. Okay, what they are going to do is ये हमारी बॉडी में प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम करती है कम, और जब प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम कम होगा हमारा कार्डिक आउटपुट कम होगा, हमारा कार्डिक आउटपुट कम होगा, हमारा ब्लड प्रेशर कम होगा. सिमिलरली ये बॉडी से वाटर के साथ जो सोडियम भेज रहा था, बॉडी से सोडियम कम होगा. सोडियम इज गोइंग टू कॉज द वेसोकंस्ट्रिक्शन, जिसकी वजह से अब लेस ब्लड, सोडियम की वजह से रिलैक्सेशन ऑफ वास्कुलर स्मूथ मसल्स, एंड देयर वुड बी डिक्रीज पेरिफेरल वास्कुलर रेजिस्टेंस, एंड देयर वुड बी डिक्रीज इन द ब्लड प्रेशर एज वेल. So one thing you are going to do is you are going to excrete the sodium and water out of the body. So keep in mind, if you are taking the diuretics and other even the drugs, you must not take sodium, because what the sodium is going to do is आपने खाने के अंदर डाइट के अंदर सोडियम नहीं यूज करेंगे, अपने पेशेंट को बताएंगे. बिकॉज बीइंग अ न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट यू मस्ट नो कि आपका पेशेंट हाइपरटेंसिव है, यू मस्ट नॉट प्लान अ डाइट दैट कंटेन्स द सोडियम. कि अगर सोडियम होगा एंड सोडियम इज गोइंग टू लाइक रिटेन द वाटर विद इट, तो हमारी बॉडी में सोडियम जाएगा, वो अपने साथ वाटर को होल्ड करेगा, और जब वो वाटर को होल्ड करेगा एंड दे बोथ आर गोइंग टू इंक्रीज द ब्लड वॉल्यूम एंड प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम, देन इट इज गोइंग टू इंक्रीज, अल्टीमेटली द ब्लड pressure is going to decrease. There is no use and no like benefit of using diuretics if you are using sodium like fine. So sodium will nullify the effect of diuretics. So be careful if you are taking diuretics, आप साथ में खाने में नमक नहीं इस्तेमाल करेंगे. Being a nutritionist and being a physician, you must know that your patient should not take sodium with the diuretics. And the sodium is नमक, जिसको हम commonly कहते हैं, is not good for the patient of blood pressure or hypertension. Fine. Coming towards the next point, thiazides are considered to be first-line antihypertensive in these three categories from the two diuretics, thiazide and potassium sparing. Thiazide are most commonly being used. And they may even combine the potassium sparing diuretics to avoid the hypokalemia. हम इसको क्या करते हैं कि हम थायराइड यूज करें, हमने कहा कि उसके साथ हमारी बॉडी में हाइपोकलीमिया हो जाता है, मीन लेस पोटेशियम हो जाता है. सो इस लाइक इफेक्ट को नॉर्मलाइज कंपनसेट करने के लिए हम साथ में पोटेशियम स्पेयरिंग डायूरेटिक्स देते हैं. वो वैसे तो इतनी इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है, बट दे हैव एडिशनल बेनिफिट कि वो हमारी बॉडी में पोटेशियम को सेव करती है और हमारे हाइपोकलीमिया वाले इफेक्ट को लाइक न्यूट्रलाइज करती है. थायराइड हाइपोकलीमिया करते हैं, पोटेशियम स्पेयरिंग हाइपोकलीमिया नहीं करते, तो ये इफेक्ट न्यूट्रलाइज हो जाता है. थायराइड में ऑल्सो भी यूज इन कॉम्बिनेशन विद अदर एंटीहाइपरटेंसिव. अभी जब नेक्स्ट हम पढ़ेंगे उनके साथ ही हम थायराइड को दे देते हैं, ये हमें एडिशनल बेनिफिट देगा. So the side effects are, the most common side effect is related to electrolyte imbalance and especially the hypokalemia. So you must think and consider which type of diuretics you are taking. It may also cause disorientation, dehydration, hypertension, dry mouth due to electrolyte imbalance, due to hypovolemia, due to loss of the water from the body. So this was all about diuretics. Fine. So the next category we are going to start is drugs that are going to act on the renin-angiotensin system. Before going to start, I am again going to revise the normal physiology. We said कि जब भी हमारी बॉडी में ब्लड प्रेशर कम होता है, रेनिन एंजियोटेंसिन सिस्टम इसको सेंस करता है और रेनिन एंजाइम रिलीज होता है. और जो रेनिन एक एंजाइम है वो एंजियोटेंसिनोजन को एंजियोटेंसिन 1 में कन्वर्ट करता है. एंजियोटेंसिन 1 एंजियोटेंसिन 2 में कन्वर्ट होती है विद द हेल्प ऑफ अनदर एंजाइम दैट इज सेड टू बी ACEAS, मीन एंजियोटेंसिन कन्वर्टिंग एंजाइम. Fine. और angiotensin 2 जो अब बन गया है, what it is going to do is it is a very important like vasoconstrictor. ये बड़ी जबरदस्त किस्म की vasoconstriction करेगा. इसके अलावा ये हमारा renin blood flow को enhance करेगा, हमारे aldosterone की secretion को promote करेगा. When हमारी body में aldosterone is going to excrete, it is going to cause salt and water retention. So हमारी body में salt and water retention होगा तो हमारा blood pressure फिर बढ़ जाएगा क्योंकि हमारा blood plasma volume बढ़ा है. So what we are right now going to do is we are going to like use different drugs and going to like stop the action of these angiotensin 2, 1 and this renin at different steps. So and ACE inhibitors, this first class is ACE inhibitor, angiotensin converting enzyme. ये कौन सा enzyme था? ये that was the one जो angiotensin 2 को angiotensin 1 को 2 में convert कर रहा था. 2 is active form of angiotensin. So they are angiotensin converting enzymes and they end with the pril, captopril, enalapril, benzapril. So benzapril, captopril, enalapril, linsopril, ramipril, prindopril. They are present in the market with the different like brand names. So with Tencel, Captopril, Zatic, Zestril. So you may get them by different pharmacological companies because they have their different names and different pharmaceutical preparations. So they may vary in the pharmaceutical like different marketing brand names. but their basic names are like benzopril, captopril, anaprin. They are the pharmacological names. This is an overview of the what I have earlier told you about the regulation of the blood pressure. I said when there is decrease in the blood pressure, angiotensinogen is going to secrete by the kidney, fine, and meanwhile renin is going to excrete by the kidney. It is going to act on this angiotensinogen and going to convert it into angiotensin 1. And angiotensin 1 goes into active form with the help of enzyme angiotensin converting enzyme. You can see the blue color, light blue color is for the enzymes. So this light blue color angiotensin converting enzyme is the one that is going to convert angiotensin 1 into 2, and 2 is a potent vasoconstriction. Along with it is going to excrete, act on the adrenal cortex, the zona glomerulosa of the cortex, and is going to secrete aldosterone. And the most important thing about aldosterone is it causes salt and water retention. Fine. So what we are going to do right now with the drugs, we are going to study angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitor. Previously, see what we are going to do. I am going to tell you is I am going to store this angiotensin converting enzyme. Let's suppose just consider it from here, this picture, that if this enzyme is going to stop, what it will happen, the 1 is not going to convert into 2, and 2 is not going to cause obviously the vasoconstriction, and 2 is not going to cause the secretion of aldosterone, fine. So when there is no aldosterone, no salt and water retention, no increase in the plasma volume, no increase in the blood pressure. When there would be no angiotensin 2, it is not going to cause like vasoconstriction, and there would be no vasoconstriction that was actually being induced by this 2 angiotensinogen. So let's see this picture. There was angiotensinogen present in your body. The renin enzyme is going to convert into angiotensin 1. Fine. And ACE is was going to convert it, but ACE inhibitors are right now present. They are going to stop this ACE, and they're going to stop this. So due to which there would be no increase in the blood pressure that was actually being increased by this ACE. This was about ACE inhibitor that is going to act on the ACE. Fine. There is other additional benefit of these ACE inhibitor is they are going to prevent the degradation of bradykinin. हमारी बॉडी में ACE inhibitors जब गए वो हमारे ACE एंजाइम को रोक रहे हैं एंजियोटेंसिन 1 को 2 में कन्वर्ट नहीं होने दे रहे. फाइन. इसका हमें बेनिफिट हो रहा है कि हमारा ब्लड प्रेशर नहीं बढ़ रहा, वो हमें डिटेल पता है. लेकिन ACE inhibitor इसके साथ हमारी बॉडी को एडिशनल इफेक्ट क्या दे रहे हैं? दे आर गोइंग टू प्रिवेंट व्हाट? ब्रैडिकाइनिन डिग्रेडेशन. Normally जब हमारी बॉडी में जब मैं I was not using ACE inhibitor, so what was actually going to happen previously? ACE simple enzyme was going to degrade bradykinin. Bradykinin is a vasodilator in nature. But abhi ACE is itself inhibited by ACE inhibitor, so it is not present. There is no ACE, there is no degradation of bradykinin. This is another sideway or parallel action that is going. So when there is no ACE, bradykinin ko koi degrade nahi kara. Okay, and the bradykinin is not going to degrade, it is going to show its action. And who is he or who is it? Actually, it is a vasodilator. So it decreases the peripheral vascular resistance. It decreases the blood pressure. Fine. So this is another additional benefit of ACE inhibitor, that along with acting on the ACE enzyme, it also inhibits the bradykinin, increase the secretion of bradykinin. Fine. So it promotes the vasodilation. This is the other additional benefit of this ACE inhibitor. So we said ACE inhibitors in detail that they are going to prevent the formation of 2 and no aldosterone, no 2, fine, no vasoconstriction. So there is only vasodilation. There is a decrease in the peripheral vascular resistance, resulting in decrease in the blood pressure. ACE inhibitor raises the bradykinin level, and it is also going to help you and give you additional benefit of decreasing the blood pressure. Coming towards the details of the side effects and pharmacokinetic properties, let me tell you it is a generally well absorbed, except captopril and ensopril or other prodrugs. Mean they are not activated, they comes in our body and then they get activated. Duration of action varies according drug to drug, and the most important thing about these ACE inhibitor is their adverse effect. Let me tell you, they have a long list of ACE inhibitors. Adverse effects. The most important adverse effect by this ACE inhibitor is dry cough. Why is it so? Because हमारी बॉडी में जो ब्रेडिकाइनिन डिग्रेड हो जाती थी तो वो हमें ड्राई कफ नहीं देती थी, लेकिन अभी जो ब्रेडिकाइनिन है वो वे लाइक एक काम ये भी करती है कि हमारी मुकोजा को इरिटेट करती है, जिसकी वजह से हमें उसके उसकी प्रेजेंस की वजह से एक साइड इफेक्ट आ रहा है, एडिशनल बेनिफिट भी आ रहा है कि वो वेजोडाइलेशन कर रही है, लेकिन इसके साथ हमें एक बेनिफिट या यू कैन से साइड इफेक्ट ये आ रहा है कि वो हमें रेजिस्टेंट ड्राई कफ दे रही है. So this is due to the bradykinin. Fine. The next thing I would like to tell you, it causes hyperkalemia, while the previous diuretics like diuretics and thiazides are going to cause hypokalemia. Potassium sparing spares the potassium, so it may cause hyperkalemia. ACE inhibitor also causes hyperkalemia. This is the one thing that like in the side effects you must keep in mind which drug is going to cause hypokalemia, which is going to cause hyperkalemia. The next other different adverse effect is alteration of the taste sensation. It alters the taste sensation, like it may cause skin rashes and even causes hypertension and nausea and headache, along with abdominal pain. Nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, they are the common side effects. Like along with the different side effects, resistant dry cough, hyperkalemia, alteration of the taste sensation, and blood disorders, and angiotensin angioedema may sometimes occur. So you must on the ACE inhibitor you have somehow signs of angioedema. This is the one thing that is going to say you something is going to be worse. So this is the indication to stop the use of ACE inhibitors and take some other like alternative antihypertensive drugs. Now let me tell you about the contraindications. Contraindications are the indications in which you will not use is like drug. Like you will not use the drugs in pregnancy, lactation, and if the patient already have a hyperkalemia, you must not use it because it may further enhance the level of the potassium in the body, and obviously overdosage of everything is not good. It may lead to somehow adverse effects. This was all about ACE inhibitors. We have said there are three subtypes of drugs used in renin-angiotensin system. One is ACE inhibitor, then second class is this one, angiotensin 2 receptor blocker, and third one is renin inhibitors. Coming towards the angiotensin 2 receptor blocker, as the name is indicating that these are the drugs जो कि हमारी बॉडी में जहाँ पे एंजियोटेंसिन 2 ने एक्ट करना वहाँ पे उसको ब्लॉक करें. हमने कहा angiotensin 2 is a potent vasodilator. Fine. So when it is going to like dilate the blood vessels or मतलब vasoconstriction करता है, so अगर let's suppose angiotensin 2 has to attach here, this is a blood vessel और यहाँ पे attach होने के बाद यहाँ पे vasoconstriction करता है. So what I want to do is I want to prevent this vasoconstriction. So what I do is मैं एक blocker लेती हूँ, वो यहाँ पे already attach कर देती हूँ. Attach होने की वजह से angiotensin 2 खुद नहीं लग सकेगा. जब वो खुद नहीं लग सकेगा, it is not going to perform as action, it is not going to do vasoconstriction because already its antagonist has attached here. This antagonist has occupied the space of the angiotensin 2, due to which the angiotensin 2 is not able to attach. जिसकी वजह से vasoconstriction नहीं होगी और vasodilation रहेगी और हमें फायदा होगा. Right? So this is about angiotensin 2. Angiotensin is a complicated, their names are losartan, candesartan, sartan comes at their end. So they are competitive antagonists of angiotensin receptors. They block all the action of angiotensin, like they thus not allowed to do vasoconstriction, sympathetic stimulation, no aldosterone release as well, and the inaction of salt and water leaves option is also going to be decreased. And no inhibition of ACE. So this is going to only stop the action of angiotensin 2. जहाँ जहाँ पे angiotensin receptors angiotensin 2 ने काम करना था, ये उनको रोक रहा है. जो कि previous वाली क्लास ऐसी थी जो angiotensin 2 को बनने नहीं दे रही थी. This class is going to prevent the action of angiotensin. जहाँ जहाँ वो लग रहा है, ये blockers के साथ candesartan, valsartan, they are going to do, they are going to attach there and they are going to prevent the action of angiotensin 2. So they are present at different sizes like brain, kidney, adrenal gland, varicose cells, and all of them can be blocked by losartan. Losartan can block all these receptors. So losartan ultimately relaxes the vascular smooth muscles, it promotes the salt and water excretion, it reduces the plasma volume. But and further, this is another good thing. The advantage of losartan over the ACE inhibitors. If we compare the first class, that was the ACE inhibitor, and the second class is the class of losartan. Losartan is good in the sense how it does not increase the bradykinin level. Fine. So when it doesn't increase it, so it may not induce dry cough and angioedema. That is just because of this bradykinin. So तो ना ये ब्रैडिकाइनिन के साथ कुछ करेगा, फायदा दे रहा था ब्रैडिकाइनिन, लेकिन साथ में साइड इफेक्ट्स दे रहा था ड्राई कफ, एंजियोडीमा। लेकिन अभी ना ये ब्रैडिकाइनिन को लाइक इंटरफेयर कर रहा है, सो नो ब्रैडिकाइनिन, नो ड्राई कफ एंड नो एंजियोडीमा एज सच. It has a high first pass metabolism and highly bound to plasma proteins, don't enter to the hand brain. So this is the pharmacokinetic properties of losartan and its family members. Adverse effects include they must not be administered in pregnancy, and really first dose effect occur like posture hypertension is very rare. Somehow there may be like taste sensation alteration or maybe dry cough due to like with decrease in the blood pressure or lower incidence of angioedema and available as 25 to 50 milligrams of in tablets. So overall uses of losartan is basically it is used once a day, 50 milligrams used in hypertension, and indications are like ACE inhibitor. In those conditions when which can use ACE inhibitor, you can also use these angiotensin receptor blockers. The next or third category is renin inhibitors. Renin was the enzyme, is actually the enzyme that is going to be convert angiotensinogen to angiotensin 1. So हम स्टोरी को शुरू से खत्म कर दें, अगर हम रेनिन को ही इनहिबिट कर दें, now angiotensinogen को 1 में convert करें and the 1 and 2 and all those action, they are all going to be inhibited. But this drug is of so like less efficacious, and so it has actually recently been introduced. So इसके बारे में भी details और इसके like हमें efficacy नहीं इतनी ज़्यादा like पता. So हम ज़्यादातर diuretics या ACE inhibitor या angiotensin 2 receptor blockers use करें. Fine. So this is a picture to show you that the kidneys are going to secrete the renin, and renin causes angiotensinogen 2, angiotensin 1. 1 with the help of ACE is going to convert into like 2. If there is ACE blocker, it will block it. If there will be renin blocker, it can block it. Fine. So this was about the drugs that we can use in the hypertension. There are further like sympathetolytics that have further four subtypes, then the arterial or vasodilators, then we have calcium channel blockers. Like initially we have studied diuretics and drugs using renin angiotensin system. For here we take a break, and break is very necessary. I know it's very hectic to listen all about these drugs in a sequence. So I'm just intentionally taking this break to give you a break and then start my new session again, and then we'll continue from the sympathetolytics and then move towards that. So let's take a break. Just go through. We have studied about diuretics. वो क्या होते हैं? They decrease the they increase the urination. So हमारी बॉडी से यूरिन को बाहर भेज रहे, हमारी बॉडी से वाटर को बाहर भेज रहे, हमारी बॉडी से सोडियम को बाहर भेज रहे. फाइन. बॉडी में इतना सारी चीजें बाहर जा रही हैं, तो प्लाज्मा वॉल्यूम कम हो रहा है, ब्लड वॉल्यूम कम हो रहा है, सॉल्ट जा रहा है, रिलैक्सेशन भी हो रही है. सो दे आर ऑल गोइंग टू डिक्रीज द ब्लड प्रेशर. Furosemide, bumetanide, hydrochlorothiazone, spironolactone, they are all diuretic. Next हमने पढ़ा drugs used in renin angiotensin system. उसमें तीन categories थी: ACE inhibitor, angiotensin 2 receptor blockers, and this one renin inhibitor. This one is aliskiren, ALISKIREN, aliskiren. And the first one is ACE inhibitor that includes anapril, linsopril, ramipril. And the second category includes losartan, candesartan, and valsartan. हमने ACE inhibitor के बारे में कहा कि वो इस एंजाइम को इनहिबिट करते हैं, 1-2 में नहीं जाता, 2 में नहीं जाता, ना वो एक्ट करता है वेसल्स पे, ना वो एल्डोस्टेरोन को सिक्रीट करता है, ब्लड प्रेशर कम हो जाता है. दिस इज समरी. फाइन. और इसलिए दैट वर्ड्स ब्रेडिकाइनिन को एक्चुअली डिग्रेड होने से प्रिवेंट करता है. सो ब्रेडिकाइनिन भी वेसोडाइलेशन करती है, हमें ड्राई कफ और एंजियोडीमा. द नेक्स्ट कैटेगरी इज द angiotensin 2 receptor blocker. मीन जहाँ पे जिस angiotensin 2 ने लगना था, ये उन receptors को block करती हैं, and by blocking it, they are going to prevent the actions of angiotensin 2. And the third category is this one. This is the summarized or very brief or very comprehensive like introduction of these drugs. So we will discuss also about them in the interactive session. Till just take a break. I'll start from the meanwhile after a few minutes, and then we'll start and revise all these things again. Thank you so much. Till then, Allah Hafiz. Inshallah, I'll see you after a few minutes. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.